Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wrestling Experience. My name is Earl Cole, and you've landed on the mothership. You've landed on the mothership and Planet Experience because tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to discuss AEW Dynamite. We're going to discuss AEW Dynamite and so much more here tonight on the Wrestling Experience.
Now with the hottest show in the universe, The Wrestling Experience, with your host, Earl Cole.
Acknowledge me.
Coming at you with all the dope shit, freshest WWE content, and also the AEW. You are now watching The Experience, The Wrestling Experience. Now with your host, Earl Cole.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wrestling Experience. And you've landed on the mothership. Another edition of the Wrestling Experience here tonight, here on the Hardcore Sports Network, All Star Sports Network, and all points in between. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to be discussing AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite, ladies and gentlemen, will take it's right here in the wrestling experience. So last night, AEW Dynamite took place in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And ladies and gentlemen, it was an explosive AEW Dynamite. But I'm not here alone, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, no, I'm not here alone. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to my guest. He is on It's Real to Me podcast. He belongs with the Philly Sports Network, the All Star Sports Network. He's got all his content creations on his YouTube channel. And of course, him and Robert are absolutely fabulous. And I love him. I love his content. I love his passion. And I love everything about him. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the one and only. Please help me welcome Tyler to the show. Let's add him to the ring.
What's up, you guys? What is up?
Tyler, welcome back to the Wrestling Experience. A very long time hiatus for you, my friend. Welcome back.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
What an AEW show we got last night. What a show it was. What did you make of the overall build for last night's AEW show?
Oh, it was awesome, bro. It was awesome. I really like the build-ups to these feuds, honestly. And oh my god, that promo from Darby last night, my god, bro.
Well, yeah, I mean that promo was absolutely stellar. That promo
Like,
was.
dude, me and Rob were just me and Rob were just like blown away by it. We're like, holy shit, Darby's good at this.
Yeah, he
Like,
is. He is. You know what part I really loved the most was when Sting came out and he was throwing the pom poms at MJF. I thought that was funny.
you gotta love Sting's humor. He's done that for years, man. The humor side of it. Hilarious, man.
Oh gosh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here tonight on the Wrestling Experience, Tyler and I, we're gonna go over the show. We're gonna tell you what we liked, what we didn't like, what was good about it. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna give you an update on Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks contract situation. So we're going to talk about that tonight as well. I also want to let my audience and our audience know that me and Tyler will be back on Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock because we have the second installment of the Elite Talk. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about a lot of things on that show. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, we're going to have some conversations. We're also going to be discussing Rampage on the show as well. So, don't forget about that in our cook pot this Saturday. And then I will return next Monday night with the Raw Watch Along, which, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for giving me the biggest views on the Raw Watch Along. Our 12th edition, I've garnered about, I would say, about 115 views so far on
That
the video.
that's awesome. I'm
Uh,
happy for you, bro. Round of applause to you, brother.
Thank
That's
you very
awesome.
much. And
That's awesome.
ladies and gentlemen, I'm 5 subscribers away from 300 subscribers. So,
Guy,
ladies and gentlemen,
I urge you, give him a subscription, bro. I urge you.
yes, yes. It's slowly coming up. It's slowly coming up. It's slowly coming up.
That's
And
how it is for like that's how it is for like the first 300 it creeps, and then after 300 it just zooms past, and you're like in blink of an eye you're at 1,000, so it's like
yeah, I know, and it's been a long time coming, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a long time coming. I have worked extremely hard at building this brand, ladies and gentlemen. You have no idea. You have no idea what the trenches I have gone through to come up to this point. But I am grateful. I'm grateful and I'm humble. And I want to thank you all absolutely from Tyler to Robert, all the way down to the toe to the pole. I want to thank everybody who has supported this show because I can't do it without you. I really cannot.
yeah, we can't
This
do it
show,
without you guys, man. You can't do it. We wouldn't
no,
have
we
reached
can't.
1,000. Like me and Rob's channel, we wouldn't have reached 1,000 if it weren't for you. He wouldn't reach 300 without you. So thank
Right.
you.
Right. And of course, again, I want to thank you again for giving us the best views possible for the WrestleMania weekend. I mean, the views on the videos have been absolutely fantastic. They've been astronomical. And I am just blown away by all of the views. From the Hall of Fame induction ceremony to the 2 nights of WrestleMania that we did the streaming, we want to thank you again for showing up and showing out because you
Yeah.
absolutely gave us the views that we were looking for on all of the channels, all of the networks. I've seen them all. I've seen the numbers, and I am absolutely blown away by it. I am really blown away. And you all showed up and showed out. And again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you for supporting these content creators because, ladies and gentlemen, they are absolutely fabulous at what they do day in and day out. I have seen their videos over and over and over and over again. And let me tell you something. They roll up their sleeves and they give you the best thing for your bottom dollar. So don't forget, give them the love, give them the subs, and give that thumbs up and hit that like button. And hit the like button because we greatly appreciate it. Um, so now let's talk about the first match, Tyler. It was Darby Allin taking on Swerve Strickland. The match was fantastic. The
That's
match was
what
great.
I knew going into this match. It was gonna be fantastic. I love what Swerve brings. I've always loved what Swerve brought since his MLW days. You know, if you remember him in MLW feuding with Riddle over the championship, before they both went to WWE. Um, and then him in WWE was pretty good until he got to the main roster and they fired him the first night. But I
Hmm.
digress. And then he goes to AEW and he goes and kills it there too with this whole mogul affiliate thing. I
Right,
didn't know how to feel about it, but I'm starting to love it. His heel work next to none. I love that affiliation with Ring of Honor too, with bringing in Brian Cage and joining that group. Because if you realize the embassy are a Ring of Honor team, they are not AEW, but they were integrated because of that partnership and because of
right,
that whole thing. So now you got a crossover thing going with Ring of Honor and AEW in the same group, which I love, absolutely love that. Um,
right.
but the match itself, I knew it was going to be a banger. I knew it was going to be great. It was hard hitting, uh, fantastic all the way around. I had no issues with it at all.
No, I had no issues with it either. I didn't, Tyler. I had no qualms about it whatsoever. I thought it was great chemistry in the ring. The nuances were great. The moves were fantastic. And let me tell you something. Darby Allin has to be made of rubber. He has to. Because this guy gets run over by a car in Manhattan,
Yeah.
in New York City. And then he
You know,
comes in. Go
bro, you
ahead,
know how
Tyler,
many
I'm sorry.
drivers are? He should not be alive right now.
Oh my God. The guy
How
gets
is he
run.
alive?
I don't know, Tyler. I don't know what this man is made of because let me tell you something. Whatever he's taking, I want it because I
Yeah.
don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is. But this guy comes in the ring and he takes these nasty, and I mean nasty bumps. I mean, I could imagine what this guy's going to look like when he's in his 30s, late 40s, how he's going to
This
get out
man,
of
this
bed.
man, this man is gonna have so much arthritis. It's not gonna be funny.
It's just, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, every time I do one of these jobs, every time I watch him on television, I do one of these jobs because I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm like, this guy is crazy.
That's me when he does the coffin drop thing. I'm just like don't do the coffin drop, dude.
Right, exactly. Can you imagine him doing that to you? Splashing you like that with that coffin drop? Oh my gosh. Oh my
Bro,
gosh.
I'm like, he ain't looking at me. I'm just go out of the way. Boom, there's his back. His back is broken now because he missed me.
Oh, exactly. Because you rolled out of the way. That's what you did. That's exactly what you did.
This man ain't looking at me. He's too busy focused, just laying back. I'm just gonna
Right.
move.
Right. I'm just gonna roll out of the way and be done away with it. Oh,
Yep.
I, he is absolutely crazy.
Um,
He is absolutely bananas. This Darby Allen. I mean, like I said before, I'll say it again, ladies and gentlemen. The match was fantastic. The match was great. I loved it. I had no issues with it whatsoever. He wins in the end, and then he cuts this great promo on MJF. MJF comes in the ring, heel work as he always is, tells the crowd to shut up and all this kind of stuff, and he's talking and he's calling them hicks and they're dumb and they're uneducated and it was just terrible.
he called him
MJF,
pig.
yeah, I mean,
I
he's
forgot he called him pig.
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, everyone. I have said this on my show many times over. MJF is one of those heels where you want to sit in the audience live. When you sit in the audience live and you see him cut a promo in the ring, you want to get out of your seat and smack the snot out of him. You really do. you really do.
Yeah, that's what I feel like watching him on TV. I just want to climb into TV and punch him in the face. He's got a punch in the face.
Yes, and getting arrested would be worth it because he just wants to smack the you just want to smack the stew out of him.
I beg AEW, if you ever get famous enough to where you recognize us and want to invite us, book me a match with MJF and I'll fucking
Well, they probably will tell you in the back, Tyler, tonight you're gonna have to get the stew beat out of you by MJF. You're gonna have to get the stew beat out of you.
No, Tony. One punch and he's out. That's how I want that match. I want it to be a squash match where I just punch him, open fist. I don't want him to legitimately get hurt, but just go knock him out and win. Get the biggest pop ever doing that.
Right, and I'll be in your corner and I'll pass the brass knucks. Anyway,
we doing this William Regal style, huh?
Right. I'll stuff it in your tights. I'm like, here, use this.
You go.
Use this and use it and just throw it back to me like nothing happened.
I mean, you're gonna need to because that'd be more believable. This scrawny frame. I can't throw a punch with that. That's not believable. So you have to use the brass knucks.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we digress. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, that's MJF. That's a heel. That is what heels do, ladies and gentlemen. That is what he does. That is what he does. He goes in the character and he winds you up to the point where you just want to get out of the seat and smack him. That's MJF. That's MJF.
Just hit
That's
with
what he does. Exactly. And then he calls out Sting. Sting comes out and he cuts a great promo. Sting does. I think the I tell you something. This promo after the match, I have to say, everybody in this promo played their part very well in it. They all played their part very well in it. I love the way Sting came out with the pom poms and he was throwing it at him, and he was just drip all on. He was just going after MJF all through the promo. And then he was name dropping people from the WWE. Of course, AEW cannot do away without some WWE reference in all of their promos. They got to do it for some reason. I don't know why, but they got to do it.
I've always hated that, man, since 2019 and their inception. I've hated it.
Right,
Like, stay in your lane. If you want to be WWE, be your own thing. Don't focus on
right,
that. Be
right,
your own thing.
right,
Your
and
vision. You have a vision. Own to your vision, not their vision. Own
right,
to yours.
right.
Stop trying to be like them.
I agree with you, Tyler. I agree with your assessment. I agree with your entire assessment. I'm getting weary of it as far as I'm concerned. Not every promo do you have to reference WWE. It's not necessary. Don't, and like Tyler said, and Tyler said it brilliantly, don't worry about what another company is doing.
Yep.
Do your own work. Clean up your house. Because let me
Yes.
tell you something, folks. AEW is not perfect. They're not perfect by a long shot. Now
I
there is
mean,
a
I look at it this way too. Since you brought up the whole house analogy, what they're doing is TPing the trees out front of WWE's yard. They're throwing eggs at the windows of WWE's
right.
house. It's like
Right.
enough. And also, that's what killed WCW. Was this?
Yes.
Was it? Let's
Yes.
just get at another company, bring ratings to them, and it sucks because you have guys like me, right, who have stopped watching WWE recently because of all the nonsense going on there. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, you know, sit there listening to a company dang near kill itself doing this
Right.
because that's how another company died. I'm not.
Right.
That's what worries me about it.
Right. Here's the thing too. And let me just jump on what Tyler was saying, and you said it brilliantly, and I love the way you broke that down greatly. Um, I listen. What happened with WCW was two things that killed that company. First of all, they had poor management. That was A.
Yeah,
That was A.
that was the big
That's
A.
a,
That
That
was
was
like a
the
big
big
problem.
A. That was the
Yeah,
biggest A on them. Number two, they wasted money like it was water, and they did it wrongly. They didn't put it into production. They didn't do anything right with by the wrestlers. They didn't even pay half of the wrestlers that was on that roster. They owed so much money to different people. It wasn't funny, and the mismanagement and the chaos was absolutely ridiculous. When you was reading some of the things in blogs and everything else, it's like, oh, I was like, what is going on with this company? And then they were hiring the wrong people to run the company. It was just too. And then another thing that killed the company, which was even worse, like Tyler said, they were concerned about WWE. Everything was WWE. Everything was WWE. WWE does this. WWE does that. Don't worry about another company, because I'm telling you right now, and I'll say this again. If you keep focusing on another company, your product and bottom line is going to suffer and suffer greatly. And it's going to bleed into the matches where you're not going to have detail oriented matches. Your storylines are not going to make sense. And and your attendance will go down in flames. TV and live events. And those are the two biggest things you need to have in your revenue bank is
Yeah.
TV and live events.
Yeah.
Because that makes you the most money. That makes you the most revenue. And if you make those go down, you're going to go down in flames. Your company will not survive because there is nobody that wants to show up to a live event and invest their money into somebody that have chaos behind the scenes and they're reading it on the internet. No one wants to go to that. So I always say just keep your nose in your own house and fix any problems that is leaking and fix it immediately. Now, there is a rumor, before we move on to another match, there is a rumor, and it's only a rumor, that CM Punk wants to return to AEW. He's pitching ideas to Tony Khan to come back. However, the Elite already said if he comes back, they will walk. They do not want to work with Punk again. They do not want to work. So Tony Khan has to really and truly think about this before anything. You are negotiating with them for a new deal. You don't want them to walk because Punk comes back into the door.
And at this point, I feel like he's in a rock and a hard place at this point because you're talking to Punk. That's your first issue. You're talking to Punk about a new deal, about him returning. He's pitching new ideas. You're actually listening to what this guy has to say. That's the problem. And this stems from what I said on our AEW show last week.
Right.
Like it's you're more so a friend than you are a boss.
Well, that's what I said. Tyler, I've said this millions and millions of times. Over.
Exactly.
I've said this a million of times over till I'm blue in the face. Tony Khan wants to be a friend first and a boss second. You can't do that.
No, and look what happened. Like I said last week, just because you became a friend instead of a boss. Look at the chaos that chaos that ensued it all out this year.
Right.
Look what happened, or last year, mind you. You have all this chaos because now you have CM Punk cutting a legitimate promo at the scrum on the Bucks and VP and the EVPs and Hangman Page for cutting that promo without his consent. Which I
Right.
kind of agree with Punk on that in that front. I do feel that Hangman Page should have talked to him before mentioning personal stuff. But the thing that really irked me was the fact that Tony just sat there.
Yes.
Sat there. Didn't cut off his mic. Did nothing. He just freaking sat there. And then didn't do anything when the fight happened.
Yeah.
The fight could have been avoided.
Yep.
Yet
Exactly.
the fight happens. He had no choice but to suspend the Elite and fire Punk. Or suspend Punk, for that matter.
Right.
Punk is on like that thin line where he wants to come back, then the next day it comes out he doesn't want to come back, then he wants to come back again. There's an issue there. Like,
Yeah.
there's still tension there between him and AEW. But he's trying to work around it so he can please the fans. But here's the thing. You could have pleased the fans if you didn't cause the bullshit that got you out of the company in the first place.
That's what I'm saying. And let me just say something, Ty. You brilliantly said it. And I'm going to say this again. I don't want Punk back in AEW. I
I don't
don't.
either.
Because you know what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. You know what's going to happen. Tony Khan is going to sit there and run after him like a little puppy, and he's going to be starstruck, and then he's going to bury the company again. And that's exactly what he's going to do. And don't tell me no. Yes, he's going to do it again. But
It's
this
gonna
time he's
happen.
going to make it worse. And he's going to make it worse.
He's already got a band-aid over the hole that CM Punk, dug in to AEW skin. There's already a band-aid. It's not completely fixed.
No.
This ship, right? Imagine a ship. This is AEW. The ship has a hole in it. It's sinking. But now it's kind of rectified because they patched the hole. If
Right.
CM Punk gets signed or CM Punk comes back, you're ripping that sucker off. And you're going to sink. You are going to sink. Because, like you said, and I agree with this wholeheartedly, he is going to play Punk's best friend. Oh, nothing's wrong with Punk. He's a hot commodity. The fans love him. Have you not seen the internet, Tony?
Right.
No one wants Punk back. No one.
No.
There might be a select few Punk fans out there, but the majority of wrestling fans do not want Punk back.
No. Why do you want somebody? And first of all, Tony Khan's a fool. He is a damn fool. I mean, come on now. The guy buried you on Instagram Live. He buried you. And you sitting up there, you want to coddle to this man and you want to bring this guy back. Are you nuts? Are you on something? Like, what is wrong with you?
It's not the fact that he wants him back. It's the fact that he's talking to the guy and listening to pitched ideas. Actually listening to this guy. That's the laughable part. Is that you're actually catering to this asshole. That's the problem. Excuse my French. I don't want to get demonetized because I know you don't curse here. But it's just mind blowing.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. I don't want him back. I don't want him back. I don't want him back. Not me. He served no value to me. And AEW is doing fine without him anyway. It served no value.
It's actually done way better. I'm thinking, oh no, this company's about to die because of all the chaos.
Yeah.
When all that happened, and that media scrum happened, and all that nonsense happened, I thought, oh no, this is where this was when AEW was dipping and WWE was actually getting hot. If you remember, this was like the start of the Triple H thing, and then like at the same time, AEW was just like, and if you saw the ratings after the media scrum,
yeah,
went right down.
Because
they saw because a lot of these fans, and rightfully so, saw past Tony's bullshit.
Yes.
They saw past his bullshit and they stopped watching.
And again, like I said before, I'll say it again, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said before, I do not want this man back in AEW. He serves no value. The man serves no value. And I'm telling you this right now. You hire him back. Okay, let's say you hire him back and you put him on, let's say he comes back by Full Gear. Okay, he goes into Full Gear. Now you have a Full Gear media scrum. He's going to bury the company again because he's not happy. Watch.
Yes.
And it's going to be 10 times worse than what he did before. Watch.
You thought the first media scrum was like a 1 point something earthquake. This is going to be a 9.0 and above type of earthquake.
And let me tell you something, Tony Khan. Once he opens his mouth and he damages your company this time, and even worse, you will never recover from that.
No. You won't. You
You're
won't.
going to see
You're
you're
not.
going to see advertisers. You're going to see advertisers pull the plug on your show. You're going to see the ratings go down in the toilet. You're going to see the live events go down way down the totem pole.
And you're not like WWE. You can't afford this to happen. You
No,
can't afford it because
no,
look at the
because
WWE.
you have
Their ratings. Look at the WWE. Their ratings have plummeted. But the problem is they're a multi-billion-dollar company. They can survive that. You're not. I know your dad
right,
has that money, but the problem is a lot of that money goes to a football team and to a soccer team. It
right,
doesn't go to your company. So
right.
you're pretty much in like maybe the $1 million range. You lose a lot of your viewership, your revenue. That money's gonna dry up, and you're
Yep,
gonna fall.
yep, yep. You got that right, Tyler. You got that right. And then when you produce a dynamite in a live arena, and you only look through the curtain and you see only like 25 people in the audience, you know why. Mm,
Exactly. And like I said, let me reiterate this. I know I said it a second ago, but you're not WWE. And I
nope.
might sound like the biggest WWE head right now, but it's true because of the money thing. Like I just said, you're a
Yep.
$1 million company. They're a $2 billion company. You can't afford any drama. You
No,
can't
you can't. You
afford
can't.
ratings to fall.
Right.
You've
Can't.
got to grow. And if you want to grow, you can't have all this stuff that will, cause ratings to fall, people to stop watching, wrestlers to have animosity towards you as a boss because
No, you
because of this.
can't. Right.
Look,
You
look,
can't have all this chaos. You can't have all
yeah,
this chaos.
no, you can't. You can't. And like I said, the media scrum could have been the death blow. Could have been the goddamn death blow if they didn't handle that situation as fast as they did. It would have been a death blow.
It would have, because it would have been irreparable damage.
Yeah,
It would have been terrible. When I was
horrendous.
reading this, when I was reading it, I'm sorry to cut you off, Tyler. When
Oh no, I'm done.
when I read on the internet what happened with that scrum, my jaw fell on the floor.
Yeah,
I was like, what is this? Is this professional wrestling or this Sesame Street? What the hell is going on here? Like, what is this? What is this?
I sat there and watched that whole media scrum, and I saw that whole entire thing play out, and I kept looking at Tony Khan, sitting there saying, "Come on, do something. Turn off his mic. Fire him on the spot."
Yeah.
But you're sitting there letting him diss your company, diss the higher ups, diss your wrestlers.
Oh my
He
God.
basically, by himself, tried to take down your company. He tried to take it down. And now you're wanting to cater to this guy. Hear his ideas. If I was you, Tony Khan, I'd be like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear what you did. Because what you did at this media scrum in June, July of last year,
Right.
I don't want to hear it because, you pulled that stunt, nearly killed my company. I don't want to hire you back. So any ideas you have, I'm not listening to it.
No, I wouldn't listen to them.
And yes, you can say, oh, it was just a promo. Here's the thing: media scrums for AEW aren't scripted. They
No,
are
they're
not
not.
scripted. A lot of these
Nope.
wrestlers are out of character. The only one that likes to stay in character pretty much is MJF. That's the only
Yep.
one.
And let
But
me
for
tell
a
you
guy,
something. Yeah,
but
go
for a
ahead,
guy
Tyler. I'm
like,
sorry.
but for a guy like CM Punk to go in and do basically what he did in WWE in 2011 and nearly kill your goddamn company, and you're catering to him. Come on, Tony. Grow a set, and be a boss.
Yep. Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue with the show. Keith Lee took on Chris Jericho. The match
Bro,
was
why,
fine.
bro? Keith Lee, why do you look 45?
I don't
What's with
know.
the dyed gray and the dyed gray? I mean, you look 40. No, you look
Yeah,
like
I
no,
know.
you look no, you don't even look 40. You look 60.
Right.
What is that,
Oh.
dude?
Um. He. I mean, the match was great. Swerve Strickland interfered in the match, ladies and gentlemen. It cost Keith Lee the match. Unfinished business is what Swerve said. He came out there and he hit him with the pipe and knocked out Keith Lee, and Jericho pinned Keith Lee to win the match. Again, like I said before, I had no issues with the match. I thought it was great chemistry, nuance in the ring. Jericho played his part very well in the ring. So did Keith Lee. Tyler, what did you think of the match?
It was a great match. I expected the match to be great. Two tremendous wrestlers. The moves were very, very executed very, very well. I loved it. Keith Lee was exceptional. Like both competitors really were exceptional. So
Right.
loved it. Loved it.
Yeah, I loved it too. I mean, again, like I said before, ladies, I had no issues with the match. I had zero issues with it. I thought like I said before, I'll say it again, the great chemistry and the great nuance in the ring. Um, I thought it was great. Again, Jericho wins the match. Okay. Um,
They
again,
got they're,
it
they're
was
trying to keep pushing this like JS faction still. I don't know how to feel about it. Jericho's great. The rest of the group I'm kind of not buying into, honestly. Um, the whole Daddy Magic and whoever else like
Matt
is
Menard,
acting hard. Yeah, Matt Menard and the other guy.
Angelo Parker.
Angelo, I keep forgetting his name. Oh yeah, Daddy Ange or whatever, or Big
Yeah, yeah,
Guy,
yeah.
whatever. But
Do
but
you
yeah,
know
the
what
whole
makes daddy's nipples hard? He comes to,
you
oh
got the
my.
whole nipple thing with them, and then you got Anna Jay and her you got Anna Jay and her ass for some reason. Which what is going on with this faction
I don't know,
and their
dude.
infatuation with their own body parts? Like what
I know.
is going on?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like it's okay to like be freaking loving yourself and stuff. I'm okay with that, but for a wrestling show,
I
I don't know if that
know.
pertains to you kicking people in the teeth.
Right. I mean, imagine if he comes to you and he asks you that. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my gosh.
Like you're sitting there, you got energy. He's like, I got a fat ass. I'm like, and that matters in wrestling. What? This isn't 2003
Oh,
WWE.
right. Exactly. Or
I
your
stole that
nipple
from her. She was
hard
like,
and
he was like, I got a fat. I'm like, what? Like,
really?
I'm
Really?
like, how does that pertain to anything?
Right, exactly. And what does nipples hard have to do anything with a wrestling move? I don't get that. Anyway,
Um,
I digress.
also,
Anyway,
you know what that does? You know what that does? He shouldn't announce that. You wanna know why? He is now susceptible to titty twisters now. That is your fault, dude.
Oh my
Matt
god.
Menard, that is your fault.
Oh my god. I don't even want to go there. I'm not even gonna entertain that.
Like Matt Menard, you and your hard nipples, and you announcing you have hard nipples, you are susceptible to titty twisters in that ring. I'm just saying, dude. See, we're bringing comedy, guys. You know we bringing that comedy.
Oh my God. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I digress.
You're like, anyway.
I am
I
not.
broke my point here.
Oh, for the love of Peter. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I hope you enjoy it. We entertain you
This is
here.
an odd place. This is an odd placement if you're coming in, guys. Odd placement where you come in and I'm talking about titty twisters on a wrestling show.
Oh my goodness. And that's a first on my show. That is a first. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. You're like the hard nipple thing. I'm like, wait, he's literally susceptible now to titty twisters because he announced it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Tyler.
Come back next week, free of charge for more comedy, guys.
Exactly.
On the Itchy podcast.
Exactly. And subscribe to that channel too. Anyway,
and subscribe to my dude over here. He's funny too.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I digress. So let's talk about this next one. Riho and Sky Blue took on Ruby Soho and Tony Storm. The match was okay. The match was fine. The only thing that I had issues with this match was the ending. The Storm Zero she gave was a little sloppy. It was a little sloppy. It was a little sloppy. However, the match was okay. The chemistry was okay. The great nuance in the ring. Again, like I said before, I have a feeling this is going to be the first female Blood and Guts match. I have a feeling this is where they're gonna go with this faction.
Yeah.
I think that this is what they're looking for, and I think they're looking for another woman to add to this mix to really ramp up this feud. I'm not sure who they're gonna get. I don't know who they're gonna find at this point, but again, like I said, the three ladies there, they're being booked correctly. The only thing that I wish that they would stop doing is that spray paint with the losers. I think that has done its course already.
I actually don't mind it. The only problem that I have with the faction and the whole spray paint thing is before Tony hits her finisher, Saraya spray paints her in the butt. That makes no sense to me. Like what? Like you spray painting somebody else, and then them rubbing this, quote unquote, rubbing the spray paint ain't gonna work because half the time when she's done finishing the move, the spray paint isn't on them. So what's the point? But other than that, I love the whole putting L, for losers on. They even started doing it to fans, which I love too.
Yeah, I saw that viral video.
Because I had a blank shirt on. He's susceptible to that L, bro. You gotta. He's a loser. He don't have anything on his shirt. He's a loser. So, but yeah, she's also like, she was on like promoting the shirt. She goes, anyone who wears this shirt, their merch, it has nothing on the back for a reason. She'll have you turn around and they'll spray paint loser. Like that's why they do it, so that they can have that. But she basically said, I'll still do the L, but it really means you're less of a loser than the regular losers are. Right. Which you're spray painting L on for loser. They're still losers. So
I mean, she comes in, she beats the stew out of the person, and then she leaves the person laying in the ring, and then they spray the L on them, calling them losers.
That part of that, I don't mind it. It kind of gives me like NWO vibes a little bit, But
Yes.
like I liked when NWO did that. Just spray painting their letters
Right.
on that. I like the whole spray paint thing, tagging other like quote unquote gang tagging the wrestler that they beat.
Right.
I do like that. Um, but can we please push Sky Blue? She is a star in that ring.
Yes. And
She's a
that's
goddamn star. I absolutely love this woman in that ring.
yeah, I like her. She has improved leaps and bounds. And
Yes.
I am a fan of hers. I'm glad she's all elite. She needs to hone her craft a little more. She needs to get some more wins under her belt.
She's got to cut
To
promos. Yeah, I haven't heard her cut a promo yet.
No, I haven't heard her cut a promo yet. I would like to see her promo work.
Yeah.
Her in-ring work has improved greatly. I want to see her cut a promo. I want to see her cut a passionate promo against a great opponent. I want to see that. So yeah, I'm an investor of Sky Blue. I think she's great in the ring. I'm glad they took her off of Dark and Dark Elevation and they brought her to the main roster of Dynamite and put her on television in some prominent matches. Good stuff. Good stuff there. Love the ladies, the stuff, and I thought it was really good. Um, all right, let's talk about this next one. Powerhouse Hobbs took on Silas Young. The match was one sided. It really was
I
one sided.
absolutely hated that because I love Silas Young in that ring. He can go in this ring. And yet, since he's an ROH guy, you're not going to book him in a really good match and showcase his his skills on a higher
Right,
scale.
right.
You're going to have him job out the Powerhouse Hobbs. You're going to have him job out.
Yeah. Yep.
That's not cool, Tony. That's not cool. That's your first miss. That
Yeah.
actually it's your second. First was the Punk thing. Now you got this.
Right. Exactly.
You're on your second strike, man. Your second
Yeah.
strike.
Yep. I just I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. I mean, the match was fine. What it. I mean, they building up Powerhouse Hobbs to be this unstoppable force. And like I said before, the match was just like I said, it was one sided. What else do you want me to say? There's nothing else I could say. He
Yeah,
goes
you can't say
over. You
yeah,
can't
you
say
can't
anything. I
no,
can't
you
say
can't say
anything
much
really.
about it.
No, there's nothing really I can say. There's no other words I can say but one sided. That's what the match was. And he
Yep.
went over. Powerhouse Hobbs retains the TNT championship, and that's it.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it. Here was it was another thing that was really good. The AEW International Championship. Orange Cassidy, Mitch Kofsky's favorite wrestler, took on Buddy Matthews. The match was fantastic. Let me just say something here. Let me just say something. First of all, I love me some House of Black. I love me some House of Black. Love the faction. Great stuff. They are somebody to be reckoned with. I'm glad that they're the trio champions because they're going to tear through all of their competition. Anybody that goes want to go mess with them, I wish you the best of luck because you're not gonna have a fun time with the three of them in the ring together collectively. Buddy Matthews did a great job in this match. Great chemistry, great nuance. What I'm concerned with here is Orange Cassidy and his hand. They said he might have a fractured hammy bone in the hand, and that is not a good thing. He won't be closing his hand anytime soon because when he took off the bandage, when Buddy Matthews took the bandage off and was stomping on, that hand swelled up so much. I don't even think he'd be able to close that hand. He's gonna have to stick that hand in some ice and ice that hand down and go get an X-ray because I am quite sure something is broken in there. I don't know what it is, but let me tell you something. he came back. He won the match. He retained the title against Buddy Matthews. I didn't want to see a champion get pinned, but however, it had to happen because they're both champions. So somebody's got to take an L here. So that was the only. But again, like I said, the match was great. Great chemistry in the ring. Great nuance. I had no issues with him going, retaining the title. Like I said before, I said again, it's going to be interesting to see what that hand is going to look like and what's going to happen at that point. And I hope they're going to give us an update very soon on Orange Cassidy. But Tyler, what did you make of the match?
I like you did. I cringed when the bandage came off. That was nasty. It looked nasty. So you knew it was a legitimate injury when it looks nasty. You knew it was legitimate. Like it reminded me of Hell in a Cell when Cody took off his jacket and his whole chest.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I cringed at that too because it's like, oh my god, he's actually hurt. So you're thinking before the match, oh, he broke his hand. Oh, it could be kayfabe. It could be fake. But it was a real injury because his hand was a balloon at that point. And it was just like, oh, like you cringe because it's like it looks nasty and you feel the pain once you see the wrestler in pain.
Let me tell you something. When he stepped on his hand, I mean, I had to look away because I was like, if he puts any more pressure on that hand and he's stepping on it, you're gonna make his fingers explode. I mean, it was gnarly. I was like, my God. And he was just screaming in pain. He wanted him to take his foot off his hand. It was so brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, he wanted to really damage him. He wanted to give him something to remember him by. And I was just like, damn, this guy is vicious.
But honestly, with that, with that though, Orange Cassidy obviously trusts him to do that.
Yes. Yeah.
But it still hurt because it's his bad hand. He legitimately got hurt in the match, and I think he got hurt. I think he got hurt in Rhode Island. That's where he got hurt. He got hurt in Rhode Island at Battle of the Belt. At Battle of the Belt.
Punched the title. Yeah, when he punched the title.
He punched the belt and messed up his hand. So you get hurt the week before at Battle of the Belts, and now you're getting stepped on. You're getting your hand brutalized, and you trust this guy to do that. Big ups to Orange Cassidy for that strength, because man, working that injury, even though it was a legitimate injury and it's legitimately broken, And it was kind of, and again, I'm gonna go back to Hell in a Cell with this. Cody did the same thing. He took kendo sticks, poking at the torn ligament or the torn pec, and he was getting his chest beaten up, and it takes strength for these guys to work around these injuries like that. He could have said, strip me of the title. Strip me of the title, I'm hurt.
Right.
And they're obviously within a week. The injury happened on a Friday, and this episode happened on a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a little less than a week, but in that little time frame, Tony Khan must have talked to Orange Cassidy like, look, do you want to work this match, or do you want to stay home, recuperate, and I take the title and vacate it? Orange Cassidy must have been like, nah, I'll work it. I'll work the match. Beat my hand up if you want to. And he probably looked at Buddy Matthews. Beat my hand up if you want to. Right. And that takes guts for the guy to do that. So I admire Orange Cassidy for doing that. But yeah, that whole spot with the stepping on the hand and for how long it happened, I was the same boat. I was in the same boat as you. I could not watch it. I could not sit there and stomach it.
It was, I mean, dude. I mean, that thing was gnarly.
And
I
I'm a
was
guy
just
that,
like,
and I'm a guy who sat there watching Eddie Guerrero miss cut too deep in a vein back in 2004,
right,
and he's pouring blood all over his face, looked like a crime scene against JBL.
right.
And I can't sit there and stomach what I saw on Wednesday.
I know exactly.
That's how you know it was bad.
Even that Texas death match that we saw. I mean, how brutal was that? I mean,
Bro,
how
you keep
barbaric
you keep
was?
you keep you keep mentioning it. I'm gonna keep mentioning this. You know, you walked yourself into a corner here. That fourth spot, you said, "What the fuck?" It poured out of your mouth, man. You keep walking yourself through that door. I have to take out every single.
I know. I need to contractually obligate closing my mouth. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I digress.
You put it on paper, or it ain't happening. I ain't shutting up now.
A cease and exist order.
You're gonna see some assistance? Come on, bro. What are you, WB to AEW?
No. Oh man, we love having fun here, ladies and gentlemen, on this show. We really do. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I digress. Okay, so let's talk about this next one here. Okay, we talked about that. Oh, are we up to the main event? We certainly are.
It
Ladies and
was a very,
gentlemen,
it was a very short card, but a lot of these matches were more than like 10 minutes. So yeah,
right. John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli took on Brandon Cutler and Michael Nakazawa. The match was let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about this Combat Club. These men are dangerous. Now they're even more dangerous with Brian Danielson in their corner. Now these men are dangerous. They have put people in the hospital.
this
Not
is
not
what
a local medical facility. They put them in a hospital.
this is what I wanted BCC to be with William Regal,
Right.
because William Regal is not a babyface naturally. He's a heel. This should have been a heel faction from the jump. This is what I would have. I would have done that. This whole heel faction thing. But what's really confusing me about BCC, and it's only for one wrestler specifically, and that's Claudio. You
Right.
have him as a heel on AEW, but yet he's a babyface on Ring of Honor, which makes no sense.
It
There's
doesn't
no
make any
there's no
sense.
continuity. There's no continuity there.
No, there
It's
isn't.
basically the same company. He's basically in the faction still.
Right.
So why not him be evil in Ring of Honor too?
I don't get that, Tyler. I'm confused about that myself. I'm glad you brought that up because it's like, when he fights in the Ring of Honor, ladies and gentlemen, he's a baby face. But then when they put him on Dynamite, when they put
He's
him on, he's a heel. That doesn't make any sense. He should
It
be
makes
1,000%. No, he should be 1,000% heel.
in both companies.
1,000% in both companies. He needs to be a heel.
Yes. Because like I said, AEW and Ring of Honor are under one umbrella.
Right, exactly.
Owned by Tony Khan. So you should have, if you're going to turn him heel on one company, turn him heel on the next. Have BCC run the whole faction run roughshod on 2 shows. That's what I would do. Have the whole BCC run 2 shows. Like, the Bloodline run Raw and SmackDown. Have BCC run AEW and Ring of Honor. You know how awesome that would be?
Yeah, I know.
What's up, Raging Girl Gamer? How you doing?
Hey, Raging Girl Gamer, how are you? Damian Fernandez, oh, hello, how are you?
What's up,
Um,
Damien?
Damian, what's up? Um, so, um, again, like I said before, the main event was great. The great chemistry in the ring, great nuance in the ring. They busted open Nakazawa and Brandon Cutler from ear to ear. I mean,
Bro, I missed this match for some reason, but oh my god, when I saw the picture of Brandon Cutler on Instagram with him busted open the way, oh my god, I almost threw up.
yeah,
Good god, that was gnarly.
yeah, they busted him open. I mean, they even busted open Don Callis last week. I mean, this group has, like I said
Bro,
before, they're
the bro
dangerous.
busted this dude busts himself open. He comes back, gets busted open again. What?
Yep,
Yo, Don
yeah,
Callis has bad luck. Oh my
he
god, I feel bad for
does.
the guy.
He does. But like I said before, and I'll say it again, ladies and gentlemen, Hangman Adam Page is not done with this faction whatsoever. He wants revenge on this faction. And
He took out his best friends and put his best friends in the hospital.
yeah,
So
and
of
then
course, there's a lot of anger and resentment towards the BCC from him.
right.
I'm ready for this. You know, BCC versus the Elite for Blood and Guts. That's what's going to lead
I
to.
I
I'm ready
I,
for that.
I'm you can take my money, please.
I would pay so much money for the two Blood and Guts matches. I don't even
Yeah,
care.
right, right. I mean, this is absolutely going to blow the roof off the
Yes.
place. If these two matches come to in fruition and they are signed, sealed, and delivered, oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, oh yes, oh yes. One is going to make history, and the other one is just going to be a mess.
Yeah.
It's going to be a mess because they believe in busting people open. And let me tell you something: if you don't like to see blood and all of that, this ain't going to be the match for you. This is not the match for you. Watch the next match after that, after it's all over with, or the beginning of the show. And once they lower that cage, if you don't like blood and if you don't like blood, you can leave the room, exit the room because
Or you can wait until the event finishes, fast forward it.
yep, you can do that as well. You can definitely do that as well. You have that right. Um, but me personally, I'm all invested in this. I mean, if it happens and they book it, fine, fine. I will take it hands down. I'm not gonna fight that feeling. No, I want to see.
All I want is the fork to come out again and somebody gets stabbed in the head, so my buddy over here can say, "Holy fuck!"
Oh gosh, she's not gonna let me down, ladies and gentlemen, with that fork
No,
spot.
not doing it.
No.
Not doing it. You better sign that contract, or I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, it'll be coming in the mail. The cease and exist order from my attorneys.
Yo, you gonna sue me? Attorneys. Yo, that's messed up, bro.
I'm kidding. I'm playing.
I know. Gonna have
Oh,
attorneys coming after me now. I'm gonna have to run. I'm gonna have to go and run from the feds, like I'm Vince McMahon, and run from the feds.
not exactly. Oh my God. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was AEW Dynamite. That was Dynamite, ladies and gentlemen, and it was a great show from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great show. Like I said before, the only blemish on this show, like I said before in the ladies' match, I thought that the ending was a little sloppy, but other than that, everything else was okay.
Yeah.
Everything was okay. Everything was fine. Um, so anyway, ladies and gentlemen, before anything else, I did wanted to update you all about the Kenny Omega and Young Bucks situation. AEW is still negotiating a new deal for both people, and according to reports this week, well, Omega hasn't been locked into a new deal that popped up earlier this week. He's reportedly currently making up the time he missed from the injury back on 2021. Um, plus 2022. So what Tony Khan did here is, ladies and gentlemen, he tacted more time on Kenny Omega's contract, which means that it won't expire because he put more time to it. So in this way, they can sit down and negotiate something, some kind of a deal. Because I'm quite sure Omega and the Bucks want more money than what they are making right now, and that's going to be up to Tony Khan whether he wants to pull that trigger. If he wants to give them the more money that they want and they're looking for. Um I think that you should pay them for what they're worth. And I don't think you should let them go out the door. But now here's the sticky wicket to the whole thing. If you bring back Punk, like I said in the beginning of the stream, if you bring back Punk, then we're gonna have a problem. Because they've already said, Omega said it, and the Young Bucks have already said they don't want to work with Punk. They just don't. They just don't. They have no interest.
Yeah.
They have no interest. They have zero interest in pairing them up or putting them together in a program. It just won't work. And if I was Tony Khan, I would sit back and really think about this for a second. Do I really want to sit there and ruin a good thing and a good relationship that I had with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks over somebody that I'm a fan of? Think about that for a second. Think about that. If I were you, Tony Khan, if I were you, I would cast aside CM Punk and do not entertain him anymore. Don't even answer his phone calls, his emails, or anything else. I would just X him out of my life and
Yeah.
focus on the Bucks and Kenny Omega and get that deal done. Get that deal done and forget about this Punk trash because he is trash and he's going to bring down your company in flames. And when you look back at it, and all of that hard work that you have accumulated over those 4 years that this company's been in existence, you are going to kick yourself in the butt because you could have made money internationally, you could have made money domestically, you could have made things so good for yourself and your fan base. But if you're going to sit there and you're going to be a fanboy for somebody who keeps burying your company, you're going to look like the biggest idiot walking on this God's earth. You're going to look like an idiot. Because I'll tell you this right now, if it was Triple H, if you say what you want about WWE, say what you want. Triple H would have never, ever even entertained Punk. He wouldn't even bother. He wouldn't even want to touch that.
And let me talk to you about that. There was reports saying that he was in talks to WWE. I heard nothing, zilch from Triple
No,
H.
I haven't heard
No,
nothing. He doesn't want to
nothing.
entertain him. He don't want
He
to
doesn't.
entertain that. He doesn't want to entertain that. When
No,
you're
he
gonna have
doesn't.
a WWE media scrum and you hire him and he's blasting you on the internet in front of the wrestling world, in front of the media, and you got an open mic and he's got an open mouth. Oh, jeez, man. Oh my God, no. Triple H cannot afford to have this man tarnish what he's built. And it's the same thing with Tony Khan. You cannot sit there and allow one person to take you down in flames and you make the biggest mistake of your life by not listening to the fans and listening to what is around you. Nobody wants this man in this company. They do not want him. He is served no value. Like I said before, I'll say it again. He serves no value. He serves no value. All he does is a prima donna. That is what CM Punk is. He's a prima donna. If he does not get his way, and you don't put a championship on him, or he doesn't go over in matches, you know what he's gonna do? He'll go to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, media scrums, and start
Here's
blasting you.
here's the thing. Here's the thing with this. It's not that he didn't get his way or get a push or anything like that. Both times he did this. In WWE, when he caused his trouble there, he was WWE champion. He was their top guy. They were pushing him to the moon.
Yeah.
He caused his issues there. He walked in 2014.
Yep.
AEW, he was their world champion. He was getting pushed as a hot commodity, a star.
But
And
that
he still
wasn't
caused
good
it.
enough. Yeah.
It wasn't good enough. Because, I have beef with this guy because this guy said something without talking to me about, like, or this dude said something about this guy, and then what really irked me about this whole thing is the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy. When he got signed in 2021, he's like, sure, I'll help the young guys. A lot of great young talent here. And then in that media scrum, he says, I'm not babysitting a bunch of babies. You're the freaking baby. You're the freaking one bitching and complaining because this guy said something in a promo that you didn't like. Newsflash, it's a storyline.
Right.
Punk, it's a storyline. It ain't real.
Nope.
He kind of, he took a little bit of a dabble into, your personal thing. He talked about your failed friendship with Colt Cabana, and you got pissed off by that. You're the idiot that costed that friendship. That is why he cut that promo. Because you're the idiot that caused that issue with Colt Cabana.
And then another thing too is which was really nasty, and which was really bad. You brought up this man's personal struggles. I would have never have done that. Who the hell are you to go there and tell about somebody's personal business? Who the hell are you? Who died and made you boss and want to tell everybody's business to everybody? Who does that? I was very shocked at that. I was so angry at that because I'll tell you this right now. If somebody would have done that to me and you embarrassed me in front of people and you telling people about my personal business, first of all, our friendship would have died right then and there. That would have been it. And that's one thing. Second of all, before I leave and I would tell you off in 2 minutes. Because you had no business. You had no business to tell my business to everybody else in here.
And what really irked me, I knew that friendship was going to fail between Punk and Colt Cabana when he cut that pipe bomb on Cena. Yeah. And he called him out. Hey, man, you failed here. Basically saying, oh, I'm here. You got fired from this company. I'm here. Hi, Colt.
Right.
Like, that's not cool. That is not cool. And yeah, there was rumors that they hashed it out in 2014. But really, did they though? Because now CM Punk is getting pissy over him being a loser to Colt Cabana in 2011. And yeah, you're getting mad over that when it was your fault in the first place. Yeah. Do I think that Hangman Page should have notified you saying, I'm going to dabble into your personal business or your personal friendship, your failed friendship with Colt Cabana, if that's okay with you? Yes, he should have said something there. but it's not enough to instigate a full-on fist fight backstage.
Right.
That's not enough. What would have instigated a full-on fist fight with the guy if I was Punk was talking about my family. Talking about, AJ Lee.
Yeah.
That would have set me off false Punk. And Punk should have done that. If he was talking about your wife, yeah, you can argue with him. But you started fighting with the guy like you were in freaking high school.
Yeah. And then the other one jumps in and bites the other one. I'm like, what? When I was reading all of that, I said biting. I was like, what the? I said,
He
and
full
Tony
on hit
Khan
him.
sat there, and he sat there. Tony Khan sat there. Oh my God, what is happening? Get up and do something, you fool!
Oh my God. That's the thing. This was going on as the media scrum was still happening, and this man didn't even know all the chaos. There's probably a hallway right there. You should have seen the running. You should have said, "I'm stopping this media scrum early. Something's going on." But no, this man kept it going.
And they said he was 3 doors down when the stuff was going on. And I sat
He
there
could
and
have heard
like,
it.
you.
He should have heard it. If he heard it, he should have stopped. He should have stopped that media scrum and said, "No, we're ending the media scrum." It was only on YouTube anyway. We're ending the media scrum, and I'm gonna go see what the hell is going on. I'm gonna fire some people.
I mean, this wasn't good.
No,
This wasn't good. This wasn't good. This was not good. You're 3 doors down, and you did nothing. This wasn't good.
but we reiterate, Tony. You messed up one time with this thing. Do not get Punk back. Do not get Punk back. We urge you.
Nope. Pump the brakes on that. Pump the brakes.
Yep. Pump the brakes. Yep.
You go focus on getting a new deal with the Bucks and Kenny Omega. That is your main focus. Sit down and talk to them and work the deal until the deal is done. That is what you need to focus on. Don't entertain trash over the phone and the internet. Don't do that, Tony Khan. You're smarter than that. You know better than that. You want to run a wrestling organization. You want to be taken seriously? Do the right thing.
I got 3 words for you, Tony. Be a boss.
Yep.
Be a boss.
Yep.
Don't be a friend. Be a boss.
Yep. I agree.
Because and we've said this countless times on this show, and we've even said it on our AEW show last week.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll keep reiterating this until the goddamn cows come home.
Yep.
We'll keep reiterating it. Tony Khan, be a boss.
Yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to put a bow on this show. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that we entertain you tonight with the AEW Dynamite. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be back with Tyler on Saturday afternoon as we give you number 2 of our show. It is episode number 2 of Elite Talk. We are going to be talking about AEW Rampage, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to give you our final thoughts on Dynamite. Also, ladies and gentlemen, before I go, I just want to let everybody know that Monday Night Raw was decent this week. It was solid this week. We got a solid show this week.
You want to know why? It was reported that Vince wasn't there this week.
Yes, and it is also reported that Vince has decided that he does not want to get involved creatively with the draft, which means that it will be all Triple H. So that would be great. That'll be great.
Keep your crummy hands off the company, though, Vince. Just keep them off the company.
Yes, it'll be great. But you know what? Like I always say, and I'll say it again, ladies and gentlemen, the proof is in the pudding.
Yep.
The proof is in the pudding.
Uh,
And it is going to be curious to see when the draft happens on May the 8th, what's it going to look like?
yeah.
What's it going to look like? And what influence did he have in it?
Yep.
So that's going to be the big test. That will be the
Yeah.
big test.
Exactly.
And let's
Eh,
see, and let's see this Monday night. Let's see this Monday night. We get some kind of consistency with the episode. Let's see, because we got it was pretty decent. I'm not going to say it was great. I'm not going to say it was stellar. It was pretty decent from what we got a couple of weeks ago.
yes.
So I'm going to be curious to see. I'm going to be curious to see. I'm not going to jump up and down and say, "Oh yes, Triple H is here." No, no. I believe it when I see it, and the proof is in the pudding. I'll tell you that right now, ladies and gentlemen. If we get another crappy Raw like what we got at WrestleMania, I'm telling you this right now, ladies and gentlemen. You better start worrying because Vince will have his hands all over creative again. Okay. So I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. And
Don't
another
shoot the
thought,
messenger, guys. Don't shoot the
right?
messenger.
Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you. Don't fight me on it. I'm telling you. Because some wrestling fans are very naive. You do not want to see the forest from the trees. You really don't. You really don't. And another thing too is that's going to be a big test is backlash. Let's see how that works out. Let's see how that works out. And who had a hand in creating that. And what kind of show we're going to get produced. That's another thing we're going to get. That's another big test.
Right.
Because I'll tell you this right now. I told this to Jeffrey. I told this to Jeffrey on last Monday night. I told him this past Monday night. The WWE owes the fans a receipt for a horrible show that we got last week. That Monday Night Raw was the worst. And everybody was like, there were some people on the internet, they had the audacity. They had the audacity to sit there and say, well, it was the best thing I've ever. What? How could you sit there and say that this was the best thing you ever seen? It was not the best thing you ever seen. And don't tell me this was the best thing that they could cook up with. No, absolutely not. No, I'm not going to fall for that. I'm not buying that. I don't care what you said. That I disagree with that assessment. I disagree. The Raw after Mania should have been stellar because the 2 million viewers that you got on that show didn't match the product that was produced.
Yeah. Oh,
And
this
that's
was the best. This was the best show ever, dude. You had one return, and then the rest of the show just felt like a standard, crappy
an
Monday Night Raw.
afterthought.
An afterthought at the time. The Raw after Mania should not be a goddamn afterthought. That's your issue. And yes. I'm not gonna sit here and knock anybody's opinion. If you think that show was good, fine. Whatever.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
your
not
opinion.
gonna I'm not gonna
But
trample on your thought process. I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to beat anybody up. I'm
yeah,
not here to
yeah,
do that. I'm not here to do that. And if it come across that way, I deeply apologize. But
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not here to beat up anyone's thought process. If you believe what you believe, that's fine. I am not
But
here to
here's
change your mind or anything like that. Go ahead,
but
Tyler. I'm
here's
sorry.
but here's the thing about this, right? I was already on the fence. I was already on the fence, and I need to rant about this before we go. I was gonna rant about this on the Israel Me podcast as to why I stopped watching WWE. And I'm glad you brought up Raw because this happened at Mania the day before Raw.
Right.
And it comes across, and the reason why it comes across, and the reason why I stopped watching and read because it comes across this way is they showed Auschwitz, the damn Holocaust thing, Holocaust concentration camp with the death chamber.
Right.
To me, that comes across as like anti-Semitic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's and when they showed that, I was pissed. Like, are you joking? You showed that place for a video package for a match that had nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that.
No.
You show that place of all places. You could have shown a random prison for all I care, and I'd have been okay with that.
Right.
You could have shown, I don't care, I don't know, freaking Alcatraz. I would have been okay with that. But no, you went and showed a Nazi concentration camp.
Yeah.
And one of the worst ones at that. And
Yeah,
that's the reason why I stopped watching WWE.
Yeah.
It wasn't the fact that the product dropped. But I will say this. The Raw after Mania, I was on the fence. I'm like, if SmackDown's bad, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna stop watching or not, because 9 times out of 10 I was going to stop watching because I said it, and I said it on the show, on my show, on me and Rob's show last week on the It's Only podcast. A guy who sexually assaults women and pays them hush money with company money is booking shows again. This guy is booking shows again. And if SmackDown was bad, lo and behold, I would have stopped watching anyway. Because I can't support a company that supports that guy.
Yeah.
I can't. I can't stomach things like that.
No.
And I would have stopped anyway, but the whole video package thing just set it off for me earlier.
Right. Well, I tell you something. You have a right to your convictions, and you have a right to your opinions, and you have a right to do whatever you want. I mentioned this on the Raw Watch Along. I told Jeffrey, I said Tyler is not going to be coming back here anytime soon. He boycotted the WWE. He doesn't want to watch it, so it's fine by me. I mean, you do what you want to do. It's your opinion. You're entitled to it, and nobody can say nay or yay or whatever. Or you gotta watch it. No, there are fans like you too. There are fans out there. I get upset too. I was upset about the video because I didn't even know about it until you brought it to my doorstep. I did not know about this. And when I was reading on the blog, go ahead,
here's what happened. I was like on the fence about I don't wanna leave you guys high and dry, but I also don't want to watch a product that, supports that and is being anti-Semitic, and also you have a guy on your payroll that abuses women. I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know if I want to come back to this, and I don't want to leave you guys high and dry like that without an explanation. That's why I texted you about it, because I wasn't just going to be like, nope, not doing the show and not text you, and then you guys not being notified. Oh, where's Tyler? Why isn't he on the Raw watch along or the SmackDown watch along or whatever? Which I was like, here's the original plan of what was it going to go. AEW talk wasn't going to be AEW talk. It was going to be Smack talk. We were going to talk SmackDown every week. We were going to talk SmackDown before all this happened. And that got, we worked to AEW talk. Luckily, we didn't cancel that show. We just changed it up. But yeah, Jeff, if you're watching, man, sorry that I'm not on the show anymore. I'm not to get rid of Vince. and they stop the BS with the whole, you know, and they just stop, using, hateful ways of making video packages of like showing like some heinous place that committed a lot of murder.
Yeah,
Like,
I was just, you know what? Go
it
ahead,
was
Tara. I'm
appalling
sorry.
to me. It was appalling to me that this happened,
It was
but
appalling
it,
to me too because I was I mean when I read your tweet and I mean read your tweet. I mean when I read your message, I went back and I looked at the video package myself. And again, like I said before, ladies and gentlemen, it was a blur. I mean, if you missed it, it was a blur. But a lot of people brought it out on Twitter. A lot of people did. And when I saw it, my mouth fell open. I said, why would you show this on your biggest show of the year? Why would you who authorized this video to take? Because let me tell you something, when you have a show and you want to show it, like let's say for example, you want to show a vignette. Every vignette has to have a video editor. A video editor is somebody who comes in and says, "Okay, I don't like this frame. Let's put Tyler in the frame number 2 and make sure he sounds correctly and everything what he's saying is correct." I don't like what this is. So every time you go into the video room, they go there and they chop, they dice, they slice, they put everything together, and then when they present it to you, they say, "Okay, Tyler, this is the final product. Do you like this the way it is? Do you like the way this is edited? Do you like the way you sound? Do you like the way you look on camera?" So this is what that's what a video photographer, that is what their job is. They make sure that it looks good on the air. Now, from what I understand, from what I heard from other people, Kevin Dunn was the one who did this video package. He's the one who put all of this together, and he's the one that ran it on the giant video board in WrestleMania. Now, my thing is that if you look at it, and everybody, now you, let's say for example you had 25 people there, and 25 people are sitting on the stage, and before the gates open, they're looking at the big video wall, and they're saying, "Okay, that looks good. That don't look good. I think we should take that down." And I think that they should mix this with that because I think this would look better if you put these two together. So I don't understand why did they just go through the motions and just said, "Okay, yeah, everything's fine. Just put it on the video wall. Just put it on the
you
video wall and then be done away with it."
you said it yourself. You answered your own question. Kevin Dunn.
Yep.
Kevin Dunn. This man should have went with Vince. Left with Vince when he retired. Got fired from the company. But yet, he sticks around and he pulls this nonsense.
Right.
You're the one that, like my buddy Earl said, you're the one that looks at these video packages and you either accept them or you deny them. But you
should have did. Yeah, you should have denied this one.
You should have denied it.
You should have
said like
it.
you should have sat there and be like, I just saw a Holocaust place. I saw a Holocaust concentration camp in there just now. I don't like this. Cut that out.
Yeah, because you're gonna offend people.
It would offend people, and it offended so many people.
It did.
It offended me because if you look at history, right? If you look at history, and you look who the people who killed, or who the people they killed back in those days when those concentration camps were a thing.
Right.
People like me, disabled people, were killed.
Yep.
So that would clearly offend me. That would clearly offend somebody who was Jewish.
Yeah.
And you sit there and you do that? You sit there and you accepted it. You accepted it.
Yeah. See, see, see. If it was me, if I was a video editor and I would have sweat out on the wall, I would have said, Kevin, we cannot put that on the air. We can't do that. We got to do
Under
some
any
emergent.
circumstances,
No, no,
I don't care that we're under a paywall. Not many people are going to see it.
right.
I don't care. I
I
don't
don't,
care.
I
I'm not
don't, right. I don't care if you hold up the people outside. We need to fix this immediately.
like, dude. We have a million people watching this. I know we're behind a paywall. We can get away with a lot of stuff behind a paywall on pay-per-view.
Right.
But we can't air this. We're a PG product, and we're trying to not be like that. We're not trying to be racist. We're not trying to be anti-Semitic. We're not trying to be disabled per people.
Right.
Because like I said, it wasn't just Jewish people that they killed. They killed disabled people in that building too.
I apologize, Tyler, if you were offended by the video because I
It's not your
was.
fault. It's Kevin Dunn's fault. You don't
No,
need to
no,
apologize. Kevin
no.
Dunn. Kevin Dunn needs to apologize to the people, not you, bro.
Yeah, I know. But I was. I mean, as a fan of, I've been a fan of wrestling for a very long time, you all, and everybody knows that already. I don't need to keep repeating myself with that. But I was offended. I was thoroughly offended when I saw the video. And I'm glad that the WWE did step up and they did do something about this. And I'm glad that they took it down immediately. And I'm glad they fired the video photographer for it. I'm glad that they did all of that because this was not good. This was the most shocking thing I've ever seen the WWE do. And I cannot believe that they would have shown that in a video package like that.
Yeah,
It
it was
was
appalling.
not. It was.
It was terrible. It was horrendous. And I know you're like, oh, it's just a building. Oh, they didn't show people getting killed there. It doesn't matter. It's the sentiment behind that they actually showed that place in a good light like that for wrestling.
No.
For wrestling,
I was just.
they
I
took
mean.
a Holocaust building and tried to use it for entertainment value. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. That crosses the line. That's a
That
cross.
cross there's the line, and WWE crossed it. Yeah, they crossed it. And here's the thing. Yes, they fired the video photographer. Yes, they did the right thing there. But they didn't do enough. They should have fired Kevin Dunn for it. Fire Kevin Dunn. He should have been gone regardless. Because not only is he a terrible writer, he's a terrible videographer, whatever you want to call it, video editor guy. He's terrible at that. But he also was doing the same thing Vince was doing along with John Laurinaitis.
Yeah, I mean they all approved it. They all approved it.
And they are still in the company.
Yeah, of course, because they all approved it.
And they all approved it. Like you said, they all approved it. Kevin Dunn, Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Triple H probably had his hands tied. He probably didn't even want it. But Vince was there. Oh, I got to accept it, or he's gonna overtake me.
Or maybe Triple H didn't even see it.
He probably he probably didn't even see it. But here's the thing: it happened, and that is why I am not watching the company until Kevin Dunn's out, and until Vince is out. It might be till I croak until or it might be a few more years until I get to watch it again.
Right.
It might be 2 years, it might be 3 years, it might be 5 years, it might be 10.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this much, ladies and gentlemen. I have to entwine myself in this company because I have a show, and I have to be well versed in it But I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this much, ladies and gentlemen. I was deeply offended, and I apologize to anybody who was offended by this nasty viral video. It shouldn't have happened. It was a big mistake. It was the worst thing that you could possibly do. I mean,
Yeah.
you could have shown a jail, you could have shown a hard times or something like that, but not that. Not that.
Yeah, you could have shown a random prison in the area you were at.
Yeah. I mean, you could have done that. I mean, you could have
You could have
filmed
shown a
that.
random prison in LA or something, or a random
Right.
prison, hell, you're in California, like I said. The Alcatraz you could use.
Yeah. Yeah.
And while yeah, it's a prison and and you're using a prison for entertainment value, but it's better than using a goddamn concentration camp from Nazi times as
I
entertainment value.
just I just couldn't I was just I was dumbfounded. I just I didn't know what to say anymore. I really I don't have any words. I don't have any words anymore for this for what happened. I don't, and I don't blame you. I would have done the same thing. If I was in your shoes, Tyler, I would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing. I would have done the thing. And
The
I'm
thing
who
here's the thing: you could do that, and yeah, you said, but you say, but I have a show. Before me and Rob collectively said we're boycotting WWE, we had a show too. We had the SmackDown watch along too.
hmm
So you could still do that if you wanted to, but you feel like you're obligated to do the show, so you do you. But you could do that if you wanted to, hypothetically.
Yeah, I
But
know. I know.
but I'm not going to influence you. You do you. But again, to anyone who is saddened by my departure, whether it's you guys who do the wall watch along, the fans, I'm sorry, that I let you down this way, but you have to understand my sentiments here. You have to,
No. I mean, like I said,
and
Tyler, me and Jeffrey understand you complicitly. We understand you complicitly. You have to do what's best for Tyler, and it's not for anybody else. I mean, it's just a show. That's all it is. It is a show. It is for us to bring you stuff that happened on Raw, good, bad, or indifferent. We still bring it to you. But like I said before, I'll say it again. You got to do you. You got to do what's best for you. And at the end of the day, you watch what you want to watch. Nobody can tell you what to watch and what show you should be on or whatever. You got your own mind, your own convictions, your own opinions, your own thoughts, and nobody can
now,
say anything about it.
now let me say something because Juice commented that they I don't think they knew exactly what they were putting on TV
Oh, come on,
because
Juice. That's
it's
ridiculous.
like a movie or TV show. You have the director there to you know monitor the editing of videos, monitor editing of movies, monitor the editing of TV shows. You don't think you don't think that a Vince McMahon or a Triple H were there to monitor that video package that showed that? They knew. They knew. And I know it was for a split like a few seconds, but in that few seconds you see it. With your own two eyes, you see it.
And so does
And
everybody else.
and they knew. They knew. They knew about this juice. But if you feel like they didn't know, that's you. That's your opinion.
Right.
You're fine with your opinion. Your opinion is valid to me. But I have to respectfully disagree there, man.
Yeah, I'm going to respectfully disagree with that because, like I said before, I'll say it again, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said before, and I'll say it again. When the WWE does these video packages, they have a video editor, they have a video graphics designer, they have Kevin Dunn, they have Vince McMahon, and they're all in the room. And before it goes on the big video boards out there on the arena floor, they are back there watching every little clip that they are going to produce for a wrestler. And if they feel that the video is fine, they will approve it. And in this case, they didn't care to edit the video. They didn't care about people's feelings. They didn't care about anything else. They just wanted it on the wall and they wanted to broadcast it in front of a large pay per view audience. And that's exactly what happened. And you cannot tell me they didn't know. Yes, everybody knew they were in on it. You have monitors, you have this, you have that. You look, you said, this is not correct. This is not done right. We got to switch this. We got to splice it. Put this person in this video. Take this out and put this person in there and then put it together and then we got a package. And that's what should have happened. That's what should have happened. You could have went there and Googled a picture, even if you took a still picture and you put a picture of Alcatraz in there and they showed a still picture of it. That would have been fine. You don't need live action for that. Just show the picture. Everybody knows what Alcatraz is, and everybody knows that. You Google it. If you don't know what Alcatraz is, you could have Googled that. That's easy. Get a picture.
Or you could have found a random prison inside LA.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, Tyler,
And
it's not that difficult. It's really not that difficult. It's not that difficult.
And yet they go and literally video. It wasn't even a picture. It was a full-on video
Mm-mm.
of a concentration camp in Germany.
Mm-mm. Shit, I'm just.
Then again, we're talking about a company that's still working for Saudi Arabia. That hateful life.
Right. Well, they're getting tens of millions of dollars for that. So there's no way Vince is
getting blood money from a country. They're getting blood money from a country that kills its own people, treats women like shit.
Right.
And now you're doing this shit. Honestly, man, until Vince McMahon either retires or cooks in the chair, I'm done. I'm done completely. And I have no words to just say about any of this that happened. And again, to the fans, I know you understand why I'm not watching Raw, doing the Raw watch along, why I'm not doing SmackDown, why I'm possibly not ever going to do pay-per-views until Vince goes. And the only pay-per-views I will do is AEW. It's the only pay-per-views I will do. But this WWE was the final nail in the coffin for me.
Well, like I said before, Tyler, I say it again. You have to do what you have to do. What's best for you.
And best for the people. And best for the people. I don't want to sit there, and offend anybody with like me supporting a company that's hateful towards, a certain group of people. I don't want to do that. I really don't want to offend anybody. That's not what I want to do. I want to entertain the masses. And me and Rob too. He wants to entertain the masses. You want to entertain the masses. Everybody here wants to entertain the masses. And I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to put anybody out like, I don't like this guy because he said something like this or did something like this. or he supports this and that and the other thing. I don't want to be like that. I want to be problem free on YouTube. I want to, you know, because I love doing this. You know, I made some I made friends here. You know, you're a friend of mine. Jeff, he's a friend of mine. Well, Rob, me and him are friends since high school or junior
Right.
high school. So we got him. Um, and I got all of you guys. You know, from Hardcore, All Star. We're good friends there too. I want to keep that platform, and I also want to make new friends within the fan base, like guys like Juice, you know, guys like Damien. You know, we agree most of the time. We disagree most of the time, but you know, I want to be friends with you guys, the fans, and whether we agree on things or whether we disagree on things, we can make a happy medium, and we can just go. You know what? Let's agree to disagree. Let's not start arguments and stuff, and just be there. So, from the bottom of my heart, I deeply apologize to you guys for ditching you like that, but um, I can't stand by and watch this company do this constantly. The first nail in the coffin for me was the Saudi deal. This was the second nail. There ain't gonna be a third nail with me because I'm not
Well,
watching to have that third nail pierce through that box.
well, like I said before, I'll say it again, Tyler. You are by far one of the best things a fan could ever strive to be, because you have your own convictions, you have your own thoughts, you have your own opinions, and you have your own things. And like I said before, my opinion of you will never change, and it'll never change. Um, I, you and Robert have been fantastic with me, and I support your decision. I support it 1,000%. 1,000%. Like I said before, I say it again. If I didn't have this platform, or if I didn't need to be well reversed in what I'm talking about, um, yeah, I would have pulled the plug a long time ago. I'd have pulled the plug a long time ago. But it's not just because I sit there and I support somebody who does things to ladies, or does I condone everything the WWE does behind the scenes. I condone it, and I don't condone it one bit.
Uh, and
Uh,
honestly, there's a third nail in the coffin. You brought it up. The Vince McMahon sexually assaulting women thing. That was the third nail too. So there was already a first, a second, and a third nail to this.
yeah,
And for him to come back to the company, I was already on the fence, like I said before, whether to stop watching or not stop watching, because I love, here's the thing. I grew up on WWE. I love WWE. The problem is that they've done a lot of hateful stuff recently, and I can't support it. And it sickens me and it saddens me because, like I just said, I loved WWE since I was 4. I was 4 when I started watching WWE. I stopped watching around 2012 to 2016 in protest because I found out wrestling wasn't real. Every kid does that. But I'm like, okay, I'm going back into it. I loved this company for years. I grew up on this company. I grew up on guys like John Cena, The Undertaker, Batista, all those guys. Now I can't even stomach watching it. And it's
yeah,
sickening.
yeah. Because the thing is that, like I said before, I'll say it again. I don't condone anything that they have done behind the scenes. I've come out. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you this much. I grew up on WWE too, but I grew up on the golden age of wrestling. Okay, I grew up on the Grand Wizard. I grew up on Ernie the Cat Lad. I grew up on Big John Stud. Those are the people I grew up with. Those are the people I grew up with. And when this company does something that just angers me sometimes, I just don't condone anything that they do. I don't.
Yeah.
Because there are times where this company does something stellar and we revel in it. But then there are times where this company goes backwards. And we're scratching our heads sitting here around the table like, what the hell is this going? What is this going? What are we watching here? Why is this happening? So again, like I said before, Tyler, I agree with your decision. I'm not going to argue over it. I'm not going to say one word about it. You are absolutely 1000% right. You have a right to do that, and I know there are a lot of fans out there who will feel the same way that you do. They turn the set off
Yeah.
and they wait till Wednesday night.
That's what I do. I just wait till Wednesday. I mean, I do watch Impact on occasion too, so there is a Thursday, but um, I really don't get into Rampage that much. I should, since I'm devoid of Friday wrestling now. But um,
Well, make
and
sure
then of
that
course,
you make well make sure you watch Rampage this Friday because
oh yeah, we'll be
we're
talking
gonna
about it.
yeah we're gonna talk about Rampage this week,
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, on Lead Talk.
I
We're
got, I
gonna
gotta,
talk.
I gotta watch it. Man, as soon as you said
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about Rampage, I was in panic mode. I'm like, I don't watch Rampage. Oh damn! I gotta
Right.
start watching.
Right.
Yeah,
I can't be one arm talking behind the back bandit. I can't do that. I need somebody to sound off on. Like, Tyler, what did you think of this? Or Tyler, what did you thought of that? Or what did you make of that? No,
yeah.
and I want you to be involved as much as possible. So I always tell all my co-pilots, I'm like, look, listen, you gotta watch the show. I understand you may not like it, but you have to watch it because we can't look awkward together. And you know, it's like
Uh,
I can't carry the whole couch.
be like, you're talking about the entire show, and I'm like, what happened now?
Like,
I can't do that, man. I can't do that to
you
you.
I had that happen to me once before on a show this was a long time ago, and this guest was never asked back. I said to the person, I'm not going to mention their name. I said to the person, I said, look, listen, you have to watch XXXXX because we're going to talk about XXXXX. Now, I already watched what I needed to watch. I already had my notes. I had everything ready to go. My show is the person comes on the show and I said, okay, we're going to discuss this first. This as he had no idea what I was talking about. He had no idea about the match that I was talking about. He didn't watch the match. He didn't watch the entire show. He had no idea what I was talking about.
That's an issue. That is a huge issue, and that's something that would bother me too because I really watch these shows except for Rampage because I'm not really fond of Rampage. I tried to watch it one time. I turned it off midway through.
Right.
But when I miss the Raw or I miss the SmackDown or I miss or an AEW, I'd be I'm here's what I would do. I would go onto wrestling news outlets and cheat. If you can't at least cheat, you got an issue.
Right,
Like
right.
at least cheat and not actually act like you know what you're talking about. That's the thing. And
And that, yeah, yeah, you're
if you
right.
can't even do that, you got an issue. And that's how I feel.
Yeah, because the thing is I was upset because I was like, now I feel like an idiot because I allowed this person to come on the show. I'm thinking he did his homework. He did what I asked him to do, and we're live on the air, and I'm sitting there like, do I have to do 99% of the work here? And you're just
Yeah.
only going to do 2%. You're just going to look like you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Right. Right.
I'm
For
like, so
me,
what do you think about this? And what do you think about the crickets? I'm
just
like,
said
okay.
absolutely nothing. Just said absolutely nothing the entire time.
No, no,
That's not good. That is not good at all.
no. Because I talk the entire, like I said, Tyler, I talk 99% of the time, the entire show.
Yeah.
And he only did 2%.
Right. Now here's the thing. For this is a the prerequisite for coming on to either one of our shows.
Right,
You got to know what you're talking about. You've got to know
right,
wrestling. You've got to know, I don't know, sports. You gotta know these things to actually be, on our shows constantly.
right.
Like my buddy here, he doesn't only talk wrestling with me, he talks sports with me at the time. So it's like he
Right.
knows what he's talking about. Guys like Jeffy T85. He knows what he's talking about. He's very insightful in football. He's very insightful in wrestling. Guys like who else? My buddy Rob. Very insightful in what he talks about. A lot of our friends from both Hardcore and All Star. They know what they're talking about.
Right.
You've got to know what you're talking about, and you've got to actually put in the time and effort to watch these shows, or at least cheat if you missed it, because sometimes people do forget when something's on. I do that a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, I do
My
that a
family
lot
does.
myself.
A lot of people do that. They forget. Oh, wrestling is on. Oh, this is on. Because that's how a lot of that's how human beings are nowadays. It's like they forget something's on, and it
Right.
happens. So if you miss shows, at least cheat.
And
Take some bullet points. Take some bullet points that you agree with the dirt sheets take on things,
right.
stuff that you disagree with, and talk about that. And
Yeah.
and just talk. You gotta have. You can't do like my buddy over here said. You can't do. It can't be 92 or
Right.
99 2. It should be
Right.
100%. It should be 50-50.
Right.
50% goes to him, 50% goes to the guest. Or 50% goes to me, 50% goes to Rob, 50% goes to the guest.
Right.
You can't bring in, you cannot bring, yeah, you can half-ass it. That's fine. If you at least half-ass it, it's fine.
Right.
But if you're not doing anything, because, oh, I didn't watch the show. Or, oh, I didn't look at, what happened on the show so I can write it down. There's an issue there. You're not
Right.
putting in that time and that effort to actually work on shows.
Right.
That's a huge problem, and the reason why, and it also stems from how we grew, on YouTube.
Right.
With the 1,000 subs that me and Rob have and the 300 you have, we take our time. We put in this work.
Yeah, because I'll tell you this much, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of things that I do behind the scenes here at the Wrestling Experience before I come on the air. I pick out the topics for my guests. Every guest that comes on here, I pick out the topics because I'm the host. So, because I'm the host, I have to pick out topics that we are well reversed in. When I come on the air and I bring a guest on, I'm looking for the guest to be well reversed like myself, so that we have great chemistry. We have great nuances together. We understand each other complicitly. Now, I may not agree with everything that the guest says. I may not agree with it, but I respectfully disagree with them some of the time. I'm like, I don't think I'm on the same wavelength as you with that, but okay, I still respect your opinion. I'm
Yeah.
not going to go there and say your opinion is wrong or you don't have an opinion. No, I don't do that on my show. I don't do that, and I will not browbeat you. I will not stomp on your thought process. Now, I'm going to give you an example. When Tyler had his pigskin recap show, and
Yeah.
I was on the pigskin recap, what I did was is I watched a few football games on YouTube. I looked up YouTube and I went on there and I looked at some of the football games and I looked on Yahoo Sports and I made sure that I talked about what I was talking about and I made sure that I was well reversed in what I'm talking about. See, because I always do my homework every time I'm invited to a show. If somebody comes to me and they say, Earl, I want you on X, Y, and Z, okay, fine. Whether it's football, whether it's baseball, whether it's wrestling, whatever it is we're going to talk about, I make sure that, especially on a football Sunday, I watch some of the games. I'll be up there sitting in my living room and I'm sitting there and I'm watching the game and whatever. Say, okay, I can't wait to tell Tyler, talk about this and what I saw and what I thought of it and visually what I thought of it and how sloppy this one was and how terrible this game was. And this was a great game, or whatever it is. I make sure that I have all of that in my memory bank. So that this way, when I come on his show, I know what I'm talking about. I know
All right.
exactly what I'm talking about. And by the way, I had fun on that show. We had a lot of fun on
Oh
that
yeah,
show,
we
ladies and
had
gentlemen.
we had a ball, bro. But
We,
here's the thing. Here's another thing that comes in handy here. Okay, this right here. This comes in handy.
yep,
You watch the shows. You watch games. Right here, I have stats from this past season on here from Pigskin Recap that I did recently. This past season. Write
right,
stuff down
right,
because it's key. It's key because you got to know what you're talking about. You got to know what happened. If you want to write stats down, if you want to write scores down, fine. If you want to write down wrestling news that happens, fine. If you want to write down full on recaps of shows, do that
right,
because and this is not just for coming on as a guest. This is for your own YouTube.
right,
Because look at how I was on YouTube before, how I was on Anchor. This before it's for me was on YouTube. It was on Anchor, the Anchor app. If y'all know, it's an audio podcast thing.
right.
The first episode, I was so awkward, and I wasn't prepared. I kept forgetting scores. I kept forgetting what had happened, whether it was on SmackDown or Raw or AEW. Or actually, when I started this, yeah, AEW. It was I was awkward, and then I had another podcast not a year prior. In that same year, it was called I forgot. I think it was called Pigskin something with Tyler and Robert, or it was just with me at the time. I was awkward. I wasn't prepared. I didn't know the scores. I had to look them up on my phone to actually tell you the scores, which was not good on my part. You got to write the stuff down. You've got to be prepared, and you've got to put in the work.
Well, yeah, and again, like I said before, when I did the recap, when I did the pigskin recap, ladies and gentlemen, I must have watched. I think I must have watched about 6 or 7 games when I before I come on the air. I did. I really did. And I was really honed into every little nuance of the game and everything. Because um, technically, I'm not really a football person, but however, I love football. I love watching it. I think it's a lot of fun. You have a bunch of friends around the table. You can talk about football all day, and I love the football Sunday shows. I absolutely love them, especially here in the Hardcore Sports Network, and especially them. You all do a fabulous job. You all know what you're talking about. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has a say. Everyone has great chemistry together, and it all works. It
And that's why I
all
love doing.
works.
And that's why I love doing these sports networks that we
Right,
do on YouTube. Is because we may like different teams. Hell, we may like rivals that hate each other,
right,
but we show love to each other. We talk about different teams. You have your opinion on your team. I have opinion on mine. Let's meet in the middle.
right,
We always meet in the middle. We always show
right.
love. We do banter a little bit, but it's all love between all of us, and that's why I love doing these sports networks because of the love and the camaraderie of it, and I just love it. I really do, and I feel like it was also a great medium. It's also a great medium to meet friends, and that's a big plus for me, man. Meeting
Yeah,
meeting people and meeting you guys, fans, awesome. So even though I stopped watching SmackDown and Raw, we're gonna keep the train going, guys. Here the It's Roll Me podcast. We'll be talking AEW. Um, we'll be talking, Ring of Honor. We're still doing Ring of Honor watch-alongs. Um, Hopefully we're still doing Ring of Honor watch-alongs because we kind of have skimped out on them lately because right now Ring of Honor is probably on right now and I'm missing it, but I'll have to we'll have to do the watch alongs because we weren't like fully committed with it, so we'll get you on that. But the train keeps moving, guys. Train keeps moving. Um,
yeah,
but tip, but again, tip to you, content creators trying to start up. Hang tight, hang in there, write stuff down, talk with talk with confidence. That's a big thing. Talk with confidence. Even though you're reading from a paper, don't don't talk like you're reading from a paper. All right,
right,
talk with conviction. Know what you're talking about. Whatever passion you want to talk about, whether it's wrestling, whether it's sports, whether it's TV or film, anything. It could be anything. You could do movie reviews. You could do TV show reviews. You could do anything on YouTube.
yeah, yeah. You
And,
can't
and, I,
take
and,
no
I, pro-
for
and I promise you, and this is also a huge plus. This is also a huge tip. Meet people on YouTube. Meet people on YouTube that you would like to work with. Go on different like forums. Go on social media. Hey, you want to do a video with me? 95% of the time, they might say yes.
Right,
They might say yes to you, and you're okay. You've got to have a good support system. That's the second key, and the third key. Again, actually, we're back to the first key. There's no third key. But let me reiterate to you guys. Write stuff down. Talk with conviction. Know what you're talking about. And if you're a guest on a show, and they're talking about something else, study that thing that they're going to talk about with you.
right,
So that they're not awkwardly talking to you because you're not talking to them because you don't know a lot of this stuff. You're not you didn't do your homework like Earl says. You know,
Right.
you're not doing your homework on doing this stuff. And
Yeah.
but with that said, that's all I got. That's all I got for you with tips.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. Tyler has done his homework and he does it well. And I respect him. I respect his opinion. I respect his mind. I respect everything that he brings to the table. Um, this is not going to be the last time, ladies and gentlemen, that Tyler will grace the stage. No. I will ask Tyler to come back. I will ask Tyler to come back, and yes. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let everybody know. I don't know if you know or you don't know, or if you haven't known, but I have some news for you. On April the 17th, next week, ladies and gentlemen, on April the 17th, the wrestling experience turns 2 years old. This show will turn 2 years old next week, and I cannot wait. My second anniversary show will be a blast. I will
That'd be
talk
awesome.
about, yeah, I hope you'll tune in for that because we're going to have so much fun on my second anniversary, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, the road to 300 continues. Ladies and gentlemen, before I go, I want to remind everyone again Elite Talk episode number 2 will happen this Saturday at 4 Eastern, 4 Pacific, except
Yes.
out on the West Coast. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we move over to Monday night. Me and Jeffrey will bring you the Raw watch along. And then next Thursday is my second anniversary show. So I hope you'll tune in for all of that. All of that is happening in this cook pot. All of this is happening. So I want to wish you, Tyler, a great Friday.
You too, man.
And I will see you on Saturday afternoon. And
Yes.
of course, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, Elite Talk will happen on Saturday. We are going to be talking about AEW Rampage. We will talk about any other random thoughts that we have on our minds, ladies and gentlemen, because we're passionate fans. We're passionate wrestling fans, and we bring things to you like nobody's business. So, ladies and gentlemen, for Tyler, I'm Earl Cole, and this has been the experience. And we will see you again in cyberspace Saturday afternoon.
Now with the hottest show in the universe, the Wrestling Experience, with your host Earl Cole,
Acknowledge me.
coming at you with all the dope shit, freshest WWE content, and also the AEW. You are now watching The Experience, the Wrestling Experience. Now with your host Earl Cole.